Okay, so now we're recording.
Okay.
Um, Hi, I'm Hayden Klaus, and I am an interviewer at DLE. And today I have the opportunity to talk to Emerson Putnam from UNL. So, Emmy, why don't you just go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Emme Putnam. My pronouns are she, her. I'm a sophomore studying biological sciences with minors in biochemistry and humanities and medicine, and I'm from Bellevue, Nebraska.
Perfect. Alrighty. So, you already said that you were from Bellevue. Perfect.
Hmm.
So am I. Um, how would you feel that your upbringing has influenced your leadership journey?
I would say that my upbringing would influence my leadership like style, I guess, because I think my mom was always really patient with my brother and I feel like having a lot of like patience and grace with people kind of helps as a leader. Just because you never understand what like everybody's truly going through. So it's kind of just best to lead with kindness and give everyone a lot of patience because everyone has different stuff going on.
Mhm.
Also just to have like empathy, be honest, things like that.
No, I totally agree. That's something that I use in my own leadership styles. That authenticity and, holding that empathy is really like where you make that connection with your followers.
Mhm.
So, okay, so like let's get into what you do at UNL. Um,
Okay.
what is the organization that you're involved in called, and what would you say is the objective of it?
So my Greek organization is called Gamma Phi Beta. It's a sorority, and our goal is to inspire the highest type of womanhood. So to just like build strong girls and build each other up every day. I'm also involved in something called Dance Marathon here on campus, and we get together with other people on campus to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network hospitals. So it's just great to get together with other students on campus to make a true change and to inspire people to do something positive in their community and make a direct impact.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um, what do you guys have planned for the rest of the year or like just the rest of the school year?
Yeah, so Gamma Phi Beta, we have some formals coming up. We have a lot of sisterhood events. We have study nights every week. So mostly just bonding events that will bring us together and help us create more memories and just like build a stronger foundation. We're going through spring recruitment right now, so we're getting a few more girls, which will be fun. So just getting to know them and getting to know the pledge class that came in the fall and kind of just showing them all the ropes of like what it's like to be in a Greek organization. And then for Dance Marathon, something really fun that we have coming up, it's called Huskerthon. It's the event we put on every year where all of the Miracle kids and their families come to the university. And it's just an entire day of like dancing, helping them have a good time. Our theme this year is like dancing through the decades. So it'll be kind of fun, like different eras themed. Little ode to Taylor Swift. Yeah, so that's like our huge event coming up every year. So I'm excited for that.
I love that. You said that was Huskerthon.
It's called Huskerthon, yeah.
Perfect. I might need to make an appearance.
Yes, yes, and we're having like last year the theme was space, so we have like this thing in the back. It's like a we called it the black hole. So if you're thrown in the black hole, you have to raise a certain amount of money to get out. So this year I think it's like, oh, you're traveling back in time, like you're in the time machine if you're in the back corner. But it's all kind of like decades themed. So we're having a battle of the bands. So we're having like three student bands come play at like it's from it's like all day basically. I think we're doing it from 11 to 11 or like 10 to 10. And they're coming. So we're selling tickets for just the band part. So I think
Mhm.
it's like $10 if you want to come watch like three bands play for 2 hours.
Nice.
So that's like kind of another little plug that we're doing for that.
Nice. And did you just like voluntarily get involved in this organization, or was this opportunity given to you through your Greek organization?
It was mostly through my Greek organization. When I got involved with the Greek organization, I just knew I wanted to get involved on campus really fast. And I had heard of it. Some girls from my high school had gone through recruitment, and I kind of liked the way that it had shaped them into who they were becoming. And that's what I wanted for myself. So that's how I got involved in Greek life. And then just some older kind of mentor figures in my chapter and just in the entire like Panhellenic community were involved in Dance Marathon and thought it was great. I went to club fairs and things like that at the beginning of freshman year, like all the information that they throw at you. And that's just the one that I resonated with the most and that I thought would be the most fun to be involved in. So that's when I joined that.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. And it sounds like you guys are doing like a lot for the community and
Mhm.
things like that. So, what ways would you say that leadership is connected through Dance Marathon or your Greek organization?
Yeah, I think again just the patience thing.
Yeah.
Um, like not just because there are so many people in these organizations, like they're pretty large. Dance Marathon is the biggest registered student organization on our campus. So it's like the biggest club you could say. And we have like 170 something women in my Greek chapter. So I think just being patient and understanding that everyone has their own like timeline and other things that they have going on. And to do like the best that you can do with your time and then kind of just hand it off to other people when they can do their best. Um, yeah, I think just having patience, being a really open listener and not taking everything too personally, I think is something that I've also learned. Because like my leadership style may not be something that other people resonate with. And
Mhm.
like something that I say may not always like land with someone or, things like that. So just
Yeah.
being understanding of where other people are coming from.
Yeah, no, I really like how you said about like your own leadership style might not match with
Mhm.
directly like your followers' leadership style. And that's something that you have to take in as a leader and like reassess and be like, okay, well, this didn't hit the mark. Let me go ahead and try this because
Try something
that's
else next
really
time.
like that's really like what you need. You need to be constantly adjusting because not every follower is going to resonate with exactly how you see leadership.
Exactly.
Okay. How would you say that you are like actively practicing leadership in your roles?
I would say this year I don't have like a leadership role in my Greek chapter right now, but I my leadership role within Dance Marathon is more like individual to me, I guess you could say. So that's been an adjustment for me because I feel like things I've done in the past have been more like group work, group oriented, and I know it is because I'm a part of a big organization, but this year I'm a family representative for Dance Marathon. So I'm connected with a child and her family. So it's a lot of direct communication to them, not really to the rest of the group. So it's more like on me to get things done on time. People aren't checking in with me as much, and I have to just take more responsibility. So I think that's been a big adjustment for me this year and having it more like be more impactful for me personally, maybe,
Mm.
than having things like shared experiences with the entire group of people, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, you're an advocate for this child and their family, and that's a whole different type of leadership in
Yeah.
itself because you don't have like someone checking in on you, like you said, but it really like builds that like your own leadership inside of yourself as you feel that responsibility and things like that.
Yeah. Makes it more meaningful, I think, for sure.
No, I agree. What would you say is the most rewarding aspect of dance marathon?
I think that just like seeing the children and that day when they all come and they obviously can't forget about everything that's going on with themselves, like health wise, but just especially their families, just having a day where they can relax. They trust us to like keep their kids safe while they're here, and
Mhm.
we love to entertain them. We have a lot of like games and fun activities going on. So just having all the kids and especially their siblings come to that day, it's also for them because with all those health issues going on at home, like sometimes siblings aren't really getting all the love that they could be getting or as much attention as the sick child. So I think just involving the entire family and really creating some positive memories for them to hold on to for a while, to get through like those tough times. I think that's probably the most rewarding part is just seeing like all their little faces and they all get to come to campus for events.
No, I love that. That sounds like just such a great opportunity, like to have. And we have something similar to that. We do Relay for Life on Jones
Oh
campus,
yeah. Mhm.
and we're like surprisingly like one of like the top donators in Nebraska
Oh
whenever we
wow.
do it. Like last year we raised like $36,000.
Dang.
Yeah, it was quite a lot for such a
That's
small
awesome.
campus. And so yeah. Okay, we're gonna kind of steer into something a little bit more like personalized
Okay.
into your own personal leadership philosophy. So here at Doan, we have the Hanson Leadership Program, which is a program that initiates freshmen into like a suite or like a community style living so
Mhm.
that they can really get like really harness their leadership attributes, and then they take classes like leadership courses to go ahead and like fine tune those I'm
Like
trying to
skills, strengths, things
skills,
like that.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a cohort like here on
Yeah.
campus. And so that's where we spend a lot of time developing our own like personal leadership philosophy. And if you ask any of those students like, "Hey, what's your personal leadership philosophy?" It's like right off the top of their head because they've been fine tuning it over the semesters that they've been in the HLP program.
Okay,
So
awesome.
I'm just gonna ask you some like personal questions, kind of. So what are some of the like most important leadership values to you? I know you already touched on empathy and patience. Um, so
Yeah, I think being super direct and really transparent. I
mhm,
think that's what I appreciate from people who are leading me in something because I think it's really easy to step into a leadership position and act like you know everything and to act like you have everything together. And it's okay if you don't because nobody truly does. So I think
mhm.
being transparent with like what group you're leading or maybe what activity you're leading or who you're speaking to, just to be able to relate to people because I think that's more real and that can create more of an impact than like faking it till you make it type of thing. So I think transparency is a big one for me.
Yeah, and knowing your audience is
Yeah.
very important. It's very like different coming and like talking to a campus like Doane versus like a campus like UNL because
Mhm.
there's so many more students at UNL versus here at Doane, and that
Yeah.
audience is gonna receive things differently than they would at UNL.
Yeah.
Um, what does it mean to you to have an inclusive vision of leadership?
I think to just accept that you sometimes don't know everything and that you're not always going to be right. I mean, there have been
Mhm.
instances where I've gone in and thought that I could like understand someone's experiences and that I just don't. So I think accepting that you always won't know what's like best for people and that it's okay to be wrong sometimes and it's okay to ask questions because just because you're a leader doesn't mean you're a perfect person. And I don't think anyone expects people to be. So just kind of coming to terms with the fact that like you can learn every day. Like you can learn from just having a conversation with somebody and it doesn't mean you're weak and it doesn't mean you're any less of a leader. It just is another learning opportunity and a chance for you to grow. So I think accepting that you don't know everything can lead to a more like inclusive environment where people feel more comfortable and open to share their own experiences.
Yeah, and give you feedback. That's
Mhm.
especially important as a leader is getting that feedback and really like trying to do better for your followers and things like that.
Exactly.
Um, who's been an influential leader in your life and why?
Ooh, let me think. Okay, there's a girl named Ashton Sandman, and she is a senior in Gamma Phi Beta, and she is on the exec team for Dance Marathon. She's so involved across this campus. She does like unified sports. She's an education major. She just really puts 100% into everything that she does, and she still makes time to like make people feel important, like they're doing a good job, which I think is really valuable because I think it's easy to just like talk to people in passing, be like, oh, good job. Oh, you're doing this good. Oh, whatever, whatever. But she like really takes the time to tell people how much she appreciates them and like how much she values what they're doing. So I feel like that's what I've learned from her is that it's important to like take little moments of time to let people know that they're doing like something good and to just put your all into everything that you do because she does such a great job of that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Um, is there a specific time in your life where someone you looked up to empowered you to be a leader? A leader?
Let me think. Trying to
You
think
think
of.
all you need.
Oh, yeah. So I just got accepted into the new student enrollment like program. So I'll be an orientation leader this upcoming summer for the university. So that's super exciting. We just like have been having workshops on like Tuesday nights from 7 to 9. It's like our class time. And we just went through like, do you know what Clifton strengths are? Have you ever heard of that?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So we went through like our Clifton strengths and our Enneagram and like what motivates us, what makes us ourselves, whatever. But Leanne Bouguet, she actually went to Bellevue West. She was in the program last year, so she was orientation leader. And every time she'd come back from this class, like we were living here, and she was like, "It's so great! Like you would love this so much. You should really go for it. I think you'd be amazing at it. I think you would bring a lot to the team. I think you'd have such a good time." And I had always wanted to do it since I had had that experience coming in as a freshman. I had a great enrollment experience, and I just wanted to give that to other people, but I didn't know if I would be good at it. And I looked up to her just because she's, again, like very accomplished, very involved, like super motivated and hardworking. And her just telling me like, you can do it. I think you'd be really great at it, and kind of empowering me throughout like the interview process and the application process, that really gave me like the push I needed to keep my confidence up throughout that like stage. So I really appreciate her, and she's been a super empowering person in my life.
Aw, that's
So
so encouraging to hear, just especially because um, all of you listening and watching this out there, Emmy and I went to the same high school, so I actually know Leanne.
yeah.
Um, so that's really cool to see like how maybe you guys weren't like as close in high school, but then you get into college and you get into like Greek life and this Greek system, and it really like encourage you to like help those like incoming students pledges, whatever they are, it really like encouraging them, being like, hey, like you have someone here who sees something in you, and like I see that in you, and you should go do blah 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 or do this.
Mhm.
Because um on campus, I was an orientation leader this past year for
Oh,
our
awesome.
new recruits, and I plan to do it up until I leave.
Mhm.
And then we do this other workshop called Emerging Leaders, which is
Oh yeah,
run
we.
through DLE, which is what I'm interviewing you for,
Mhm.
where we take freshmen who aren't in the Hampton Leadership Program, or maybe sophomores and juniors who just don't feel like they have had a ton of leadership experience, but professors here on campus see those attributes in them. And so what we do is we take them in, we do a 6 week workshop every Wednesday or Thursday from 7:30 to 9 p.m. every
Mhm.
night. Uh, and we just talk about leadership. And it's one of like the greatest things that I've like experienced. And so like I totally understand where you're coming from with you going to that own like workshop, because
Mhm.
I mean like we have something not similar, but I've had that experience
Yeah.
with doing that, and it is super encouraging.
Mhm.
Okay. Let's talk about HLP. So Hanson Leadership Program has some core values. So one of them being empowerment, advocacy, depth, and courage. And so with your dance marathon position, you really are an advocate for all of these. Like you said, you're assigned to an individual child and family. And
Mhm.
so I kind of want to go into advocacy a little bit deeper for you. So, what would advocacy mean to you?
This sounds kind of like deep and I don't know, but to me, like being an advocate is like being a voice for the voiceless, or like standing up for people who don't really want to stand up for themselves or don't feel comfortable doing that, or like speaking out. I think even just as like a friend and a peer, I'm pretty like outspoken when like wrongdoings are happening.
Mhm.
Like I don't like injustice. I don't like when people are kind of pushed to the side. I like for everyone to be able to share their voice and share their thoughts and feelings. So I think just being like a voice for her and her family and the organization has really helped me step up and like realize what strengths I have as like an advocate and a leader. And I know I like can't relate with everyone who I want to support. And so I think also just being a listening ear and knowing that like I don't know everything and maybe we can't relate, but I'm still here for you and I can still be like an ally and in
Mhm.
a sense. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. Um, is there a connection between advocacy and being an effective leader?
I think so, because I think you're an advocate for everybody that you're leading, especially when people think of leaders. Like I know in the past, as a leader, I've kind of been more outspoken and more like spearheading the group, I guess you could say, kind of like doing most of the talking. And I think especially when you're in those positions, it's important to understand like what people really think and believe that you are supporting and you are speaking for, because you don't ever want to send out like the wrong message. You want to represent the group in the way that they want to be represented.
Mhm.
So I think they definitely go hand in hand, like being an advocate and being an effective leader, just knowing what you're standing for and kind of what you're speaking for and representing.
Yeah, no, advocacy is definitely like that one advocacy and empowerment, because empowerment you're trying to um empower them to make the correct choices. So you have to listen. And
Yeah.
advocacy kind of goes in the same way, where you have to listen so that you know that you're accurately like advocating for
Yeah.
your followers, or maybe just like the group of people that you're representing and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, how do you personally embody advocacy in your own leadership?
Yeah, I think that like I said, kind of in the past, I've been more outspoken, and I think kind of over like my college experience, I've realized that you don't have to be like the loudest person in the room or the most outspoken to have something valuable to say. So I think just kind of taking my time to listen to people more intentionally and like really understanding where people are coming from and like listening to their experiences has kind of changed the way I am a leader, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just listening more closely, being more intentional with what I'm saying, and kind of like taking a step back and letting other people shine.
Yeah, no, no, that's I totally understand what you're getting from
Yeah.
Nick Kanopik, who's actually one of the he's like the coordinators for like the leadership program here at Doan.
Um,
And one of his favorite quotes that he'll tell us all the time is that the best leaders he's known listen 3 times as much as they talk.
yeah.
And so you saying that, I'm just like, yes, yes, like you're just hitting all the marks here, because that's so true. Like if you're gonna accurately like lead, you can't just blindly like be the loudest or like
Mhm.
talk over your like
Yeah.
substituents and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like in high school, like when they teach kids to be leaders, it's kind of just like, oh, who's the loudest? Who wants to talk the most? Who raises their hand the most? Who
Yes.
like goes out of their way the most? And sometimes like the best leaders are a little bit shyer, more reserved, or have a harder time like speaking up for themselves. So I think, yeah, just listening and kind of taking the back burner when things have like already been said. Like you don't need to repeat everything a million times, and
Yes.
sometimes you don't have original ideas, and that's okay. But just being more patient, I think, is important as you get older and grow into different like stages as of being.
No. Yeah, that's definitely something that even I like learned coming into college, fresh off the boat, was gung ho and like ready to like take over the world. And then
Yeah.
like I kind of took a step back and I was like, hey, like that's maybe not like something I need to be doing all of the time, because
Mhm.
I'm in this great, like, I was in this cohort, and it really taught me to like respect other people's types
Yeah.
of leadership,
Mhm.
where like maybe someone isn't the most outspoken, but their ideas are just absolutely like brilliant. And
Yeah.
you kind of have to like give everybody that space to be able to um
Like come into
talk about.
themselves and understand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
I kind of want to like wrap up with some things. What's on the horizon for you? What do you see for yourself at UNL and through your Greek organization and dance marathon?
Yeah, I think that I also like getting more involved in service, like kind of as my time has gone on. So I volunteer
Mhm.
at our like food pantry every week. I think being more involved in like volunteer activities that don't like directly impact me. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of important for me to give back to the Lincoln community, because I think I've done so much on campus. So I kind of want to do more like community outreach, I would say. That's not like directly just about me. I think that's important for me and like character development down the line. I would love to like have a leadership position in the chapter again. I was the sisterhood like co-chair last year. So that was really fun to plan things with another girl and see those like bonding events all come together, just bringing people together, making friendships and things like that. And then within Dance Marathon, I think just becoming an advocate again. I'd love to like do this family representative position again next year, just to form a closer relationship with the family and the child. And inspire people to like keep going. I know it's kind of hard in our organization because you feel like you're bothering people for money all the time, because we do have to fundraise and we are like
Yeah.
all of our time towards a great cause. But I think it's really easy to forget what you're doing it all for and to forget like the end goal. So I think just in general, all across campus and in the community, just like inspiring people and reminding them like what their purpose is and like what they're doing, what they're doing for. So
Yeah.
just keep people motivated, I think, is a big one for me.
Okay, well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to meet with me.
Of
Um,
course.
yeah. Mm, okay. I'm gonna